ExamPrep.School. Alaska Property Insurance Producer Exam. Exam code INSICPROP04 or OPProp04. There are 4 practice exams in this series. This video covers Practice Exam 1. The first 20 questions are free. In this video, we will be covering the following major categories for Practice Exam 1. Insurance terms and related concepts. Laws, rules, and regulations. Laws, rules, and regulations. Policy provisions and contract law. Types of policies. Let's walk through the format. I'll read each question and its choices. Let's get started. Question 1. Under the standard H03 homeowners form, which peril affecting the dwelling is excluded unless specifically added by endorsement? A. Weight of ice, snow, or sleet causing roof damage. B. Earthquake or earth movement. C. Explosion of a gas line. D. Fire or lightning damage. A countdown circle appears in the top right. Once it completes, the answer is revealed. You can pause at any time if you'd like longer to think. If you'd like additional practice covering more topics, see the description for our book. The correct answer is B. The H03 form provides open perils coverage for the dwelling, except for those perils specifically excluded, such as earth movement, including earthquakes. Reason A is not correct. Damage from the weight of ice, snow, or sleet is covered under open perils for the dwelling. Reason C is not correct. Explosion is an open peril covered by the dwelling section of H03. Reason D is not correct. Fire or lightning is a covered open peril under H03. Question 2. Which of the following perils is covered under the dwelling section of an H02 homeowner's policy? A. Flooding from a rising river. B. Vandalism or malicious mischief. C. Wear and tear or gradual deterioration. D. Earth movement such as an earthquake. The correct answer is B. The H02 form provides coverage for a specified list of named perils, including vandalism or malicious mischief, while excluding perils like flood, wear and tear, and earth movement. Reason A is not correct. Flood is excluded under the basic named perils H02 form. Reason C is not correct. Wear and tear is a maintenance issue excluded from H02 coverage. Reason D is not correct. Earth movement, including earthquakes, is specifically excluded under H02. Question 3. Which of the following losses to personal property would be covered under the personal property section of an H05 homeowner's policy? A. Gradual deterioration due to age and wear. B. Theft by forced entry. C. Seepage of water over a prolonged period. D. Flooding from an adjacent lake. The correct answer is B. The H05 form provides open perils coverage for personal property, including theft by forced entry, while excluding losses from gradual deterioration, seepage, and flood unless endorsed. Reason A is not correct. Gradual deterioration is a maintenance exclusion under open perils personal property coverage. Reason C is not correct. Seepage over time is an excluded condition under H05. Reason D is not correct. Flood from external water sources is excluded under standard H05 coverage. Question 4. Which statement accurately describes the coverage provided by an H04 renter's policy? A. Dwelling structure on open perils basis and personal property on broad form perils. B. Personal property on broad form and perils with no dwelling structure coverage. C. Personal property on basic named perils and dwelling structure on broad form. D. Both dwelling structure and personal property on open perils basis. The correct answer is B. The H04 form is designed for tenants and provides coverage only for personal property on a broad form, named perils basis. It does not cover the dwelling structure. Reason A is not correct. H04 does not cover the dwelling structure under any peril basis. Reason C is not correct. H04 does not provide any dwelling structure coverage. Reason D is not correct. H04 does not include open perils coverage for the dwelling structure. Question 5. After a gas leak-related fire in her condominium, Alicia's custom built-in cabinets and interior wall coverings, part of her unit improvements, were destroyed. Under her H06 policy, which coverage part applies to the loss of these cabinets and wall surfaces? A. Coverage B applies to detached structures on the premises. B. Coverage A applies to alterations, additions, and improvements to the insured unit. C. Coverage C applies to personal property only, not built-in improvements. D. Coverage D applies to additional living expenses when the unit is uninhabitable. The correct answer is B. The H06 policy treats alterations, additions, and improvements made by the unit owner as part of the dwelling under Coverage A, so loss to built-in cabinets and wall finishes is paid under Coverage A. Reason A is not correct. Coverage B applies only to other structures that are detached from the dwelling, not interior unit improvements. Reason C is not correct. Personal property coverage applies only to movable items, not to built-in cabinets or wall surfaces. Reason D is not correct. Coverage D pays for additional living expenses when the unit is uninhabitable, not for damage to improvements. Question 6. Pat insures his 1,922 home under an H08 policy with a $200,000 dwelling limit. A windstorm causes $50,000 in damage, but depreciation reduces the actual cash value to $35,000. If Pat's policy has a $500 deductible, how much will the insurer pay? A. $50,000, the full cost of repairing the damage. B. $200,000 are the policy limit for dwelling coverage. C. $35,000, the replacement cost estimate before depreciation. D. $34,500, the actual cash value after depreciation minus the deductible. The correct answer is D. H08 policies settle dwelling losses on an actual cash value basis. Depreciation reduces the $50,000 loss to $35,000, and then the $500 deductible is subtracted, resulting in a $34,500 payment. Reason A is not correct. H08 does not pay replacement cost, so it will not cover the full $50,000. Reason B is not correct. The policy limit is not payable in full when depreciation and deductible apply. Reason C is not correct. Replacement cost before depreciation is not paid under H08, which uses ACV. Question 7. A severe windstorm tears off roof shingles, cracks the brick chimney, and destroys the detached tool shed on the insured's premises. Under the dwelling section, coverage A of a standard HO policy, which damages are covered? A. Chimney and tool shed. B. Roof shingles and tool shed. C. Roof shingles and chimney. D. All three. The correct answer is C. Coverage A insures the main dwelling and attached structures, roof shingles and chimney. A detached tool shed is not part of the dwelling and falls under coverage B. Reason A is not correct. The tool shed is a separate structure, so it is excluded from coverage A. Reason B is not correct. A detached tool shed is not part of the dwelling and is covered under coverage B, not coverage A. Reason D is not correct. The shed is not insured under coverage A, only the attached elements are covered. Question 8. After a hailstorm, damage occurs to a detached garden gazebo, the attached garage roof, and the concrete driveway. Under coverage B, other structures of a homeowner's policy, which damage would be covered? A. Damage to all three. B. Damage to the attached garage roof. C. Damage to the concrete driveway. D. Damage to the detached garden gazebo. The correct answer is D. Coverage B insures other structures that are detached from the dwelling by clear space. The detached gazebo qualifies. Attached garage components are part of coverage A and driveways are not covered. Reason A is not correct. Neither attached structures nor driveways qualify for coverage B. Reason B is not correct. Attached garage elements are part of the dwelling and covered under coverage A, not B. Reason C is not correct. Driveways are land improvements and are excluded from coverage B. Question 9. Maria's HO policy includes a $30,000 personal property limit. While backpacking abroad, her camera valued at $2,000 is stolen from her hostel room. Under coverage C's worldwide provision, ignoring deductible, how much will her insurer pay? A. $0. Property outside the residence is not covered. B. $20,000 negative. 10% of the limit for off-premises losses. C. $30,000. Full personal property limit regardless of lost locations. D. $2,000. Actual cash value under coverage C applies anywhere in the world. The correct answer is D. Coverage C provides worldwide coverage for personal property under the policy limit. The stolen camera's value of $2,000 is within the $30,000 limit, so the insurer pays $2,000. Reason A is not correct. Coverage C extends beyond the residence, so off-premises theft is covered. Reason B is not correct. There is no separate 10% sublimit for off-premises losses under standard coverage C. Reason C is not correct. The full limit is the maximum, but payment is based on the item's value, not the entire limit. Question 10. After a covered fire renders Laura's home uninhabitable, she pays $1,500 a month for a temporary apartment, $200 a month to store her household goods, and continues her $1,200 mortgage payment. Under coverage D, loss of use, which expense would be covered? A. Regular grocery expenses. B. Monthly storage fees for household goods. C. Mortgage payments on the uninhabitable home. D. Monthly temporary apartment rent. The correct answer is D. Coverage D pays for additional living expenses needed to maintain the insured's standard of living, such as temporary apartment rent. Mortgage payments and regular expenses are not covered under this section, and storage fees fall under additional coverages, not loss of use. Reason A is not correct. Regular grocery costs do not represent incremental living expenses due to loss of use. Reason B is not correct. Storage fees are covered under additional coverages, not under coverage D. Reason C is not correct. Mortgage payments are considered financial obligations, not additional living expenses. Question 11. Under the Building and Personal Property Coverage Form, CP0010, which of the following items is considered part of the covered building? A. Land beneath the foundation. B. Decorative curtains. C. Windows permanently installed. D. Temporary scaffolding. The correct answer is C. The form's definition of building includes permanently installed fixtures such as windows. Other items either are excluded land, personal property, or temporary structures. Reason A is not correct. Land beneath the foundation is explicitly excluded from coverage. Reason B is not correct. Decorative curtains are movable personal property, not building components. Reason D is not correct. Temporary scaffolding is not permanently attached and is treated as personal property. Question 12. Under the Building and Personal Property Coverage Form, CP0010, which of these is classified as a covered fixture? A. Detached sign standing on its own. B. Built-in heating and air conditioning equipment. C. Freestanding display racks. D. Portable laptops. The correct answer is B. Permanently attached heating and air conditioning systems are defined as fixtures and included in building coverage, whereas the other items are movable or unattached and treated as personal property or excluded. Reason A is not correct. A detached sign not permanently attached is treated as outdoor personal property and excluded. Reason C is not correct. Freestanding display racks are movable business personal property, not fixtures. Reason D is not correct. Portable laptops are business personal property, not integral building fixtures. Question 13. Which of the following is covered as business personal property under the CP0010 form? A. Office furniture and equipment. B. Painted exterior pavement. C. Storefront windows. D. Interior partition walls. The correct answer is A. Business personal property under the form includes movable items such as office furniture and equipment. Structural or fixed components like pavement, windows, and partition walls are covered as building property. Reason B is not correct. Exterior pavement is part of the building or land improvements, not personal property. Reason C is not correct. Storefront windows are permanently installed building fixtures. Reason D is not correct. Interior partition walls are structural components covered under building coverage. Question 14. A retail company carries a standard commercial property form covering buildings, business personal property, and property of others. After a fire, the insurer pays for the building structure, interior improvements, and inventory. Which of the following losses is not covered under this policy? A. Damage to interior office partitions. B. Loss of inventory on the sales floor. C. Market value of the land beneath the building. D. Replacement of a neon sign attached to the exterior. The correct answer is C. The policy insures buildings, contents, and attached fixtures, but land and land values are specifically excluded under standard commercial property coverage. Reason A is not correct. Interior partitions are considered part of the insured building and are covered under building coverage. Reason B is not correct. Inventory is covered as business personal property up to the policy limit. Reason D is not correct. A permanently attached sign is considered part of the building and is covered. Question 15. A manufacturing plant has a commercial property policy with a $100,000 limit for direct damage. Debris removal costs total $30,000 after a storage tank collapse. According to the policy's debris removal additional coverage, how much will the insurer pay for debris removal? A. $30,000. B. $20,000. C. $25,000. D. $15,000. The correct answer is C. Debris removal is an additional coverage that pays up to 25% of the amount paid for direct damage. 25% of $100,000 is $25,000, so that is the insurer's limit. Reason A is not correct. Full removal cost exceeds the 25% allowable limit and is capped at 25% of the loss payment. Reason B is not correct. This amount underestimates the 25% limit, which would be $25,000, not $20,000. Reason D is not correct. This is below the 25% allowable threshold and does not match the policy's calculation. Question 16. A warehouse uses a causes of loss, basic form. Which of the following events would be covered under that form? A. Damage caused by the collapse of a roof under heavy snow. B. Earthquake damage to the foundation. C. Flooding from an overflowing riverbank. D. Water damage from accidental discharge of an automatic sprinkler head. The correct answer is D. The basic form specifically names sprinkler leakage among covered perils. Collapse under snow, flood, and earthquake are not included in the basic form's named perils. Reason A is not correct. Collapse under snow is a peril only added in the broad form, not the basic form. Reason B is not correct. Earthquake is excluded under the basic form's named perils. Reason C is not correct. Flood is not a named peril under the basic form. Question 17. Under the causes of loss broad form, which of these additional perils would be insured that is not covered under the basic form? A. Damage from a volcanic eruption. B. Damage from mechanical breakdown of a boiler. C. Roof collapse due to the weight of accumulated ice and snow. D. Damage from exterior floodwater intrusion. The correct answer is C. The broad form adds collapse from the weight of ice and snow as a named peril. Volcanic eruptions and floods are excluded, and mechanical breakdown is not a named peril under the broad form. Reason A is not correct. Volcanic action is excluded under both basic and broad forms. Reason B is not correct. Mechanical breakdown is not a named peril under the broad form. Reason D is not correct. Flood remains excluded under the broad form. Question 18. A commercial property policy uses the causes of loss special form. After a hidden pipe leak, mold grows on interior walls. Which of the following losses would be excluded under this form? A. Fungal growth on interior walls. B. Water damage from the broken pipe. C. Fire damage from a nearby lightning strike. D. Windstorm damage to the roof. The correct answer is A. The special form excludes losses caused by fungi, mold, and similar microorganisms, even if they result from a covered cause of loss such as a hidden leak. Reason B is not correct. Accidental water discharge is a covered peril under the special form. Reason C is not correct. Lightning is a covered peril under any causes of loss form. Reason D is not correct. Windstorm is covered under the special form. Question 19. A warehouse has been vacant for 75 days. During that period, vandals broke in and smashed interior fixtures. Under the policy's vacancy clause, which loss will the insurer deny? A. Vandalism damage to interior fixtures. B. Lightning strike causing fire damage. C. Accidental water discharge from a sprinkler head. D. Windstorm damage to exterior walls. The correct answer is A. The vacancy clause excludes vandalism losses when a building remains vacant beyond the specified period, typically 60 days. Other covered perils remain insured. Reason B is not correct. Fire from a lightning strike is a covered peril and not barred by vacancy. Reason C is not correct. Sprinkler leakage is a covered cause of loss regardless of vacancy. Reason D is not correct. Windstorm remains covered even if the building is vacant. Question 20. Which of the following accurately distinguishes the NFIP emergency program from the NFIP regular program? A. Emergency program, $35,000. Building $10,000 contents with a 30-day waiting period. Regular program, $250,000 building, $100,000 contents with a 30-day waiting period. B. Emergency program, $50,000 building, task, $25,000 contents with immediate coverage. Regular program, $250,000 building, $100,000 contents with a 30-day waiting period. C. Emergency program, $35,000 building, $10,000 contents with immediate coverage. Regular program, $150,000 building, $50,000 contents with a 30-day waiting period. D. Emergency program, $35,000. Building $10,000 contents with immediate coverage. Regular program, $250,000 building, $100,000 contents with a 30-day waiting period. The correct answer is D. The NFIP emergency program provides up to $35,000 building and $10,000 contents coverage effective immediately upon community participation. The NFIP regular program raises limits to $250,000 building and $100,000 contents and imposes a 30-day waiting period. Reason A is not correct. The emergency program does not impose a 30-day waiting period for coverage. Reason B is not correct. The emergency program's coverage limits are lower than $50,000 building and $25,000 contents. Reason C is not correct. The regular program's standard limits exceed $150,000 building and $50,000 contents. Enjoyed this practice test? Tap like, hit subscribe, and share it with a classmate. Got a question we should tweak? Comment below, we read them all. Find full practice exam books in the description or at ExamPrep.School.